France has
Stop
stated
right
from the
there.
very
Stop right there. Is Israel defending
Okay,
itself
listen
in
to me.
accordance with
Listen to
international
me.
law?
We've always denounced those crimes, but
After watching this debate, you will better understand who this man really is, and more specifically, you will have a clear picture of the hypocrisy of Western leaders when it comes to defending the right of the oppressors. In fact, a few days ago, a ceasefire came into effect in Gaza after several months of bombing, massacres, and suffering. The sounds of weapons have stopped, but the humanitarian crisis is still there. The cries and tears of survivors mourning their dead continue to be heard in a territory that has become uninhabitable and unlivable after Netanyahu's army destroyed almost all its buildings. So, after the ceasefire, what comes next? Do we let all these brutal and inhuman crimes go unpunished? What is the future of the Palestinian people? Former French Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Dominique De Villepin has an answer for this question and sends a clear and powerful message to Nitanyaho and the international community. He begins by recalling the importance of creating a free Palestinian state, today more than ever.
A Palestinian state must be created, which means politically addressing the tragedy of the Middle East and offering a perspective to a population that has lost hope since 1948.
Do you understand that after October 7th, Israel had the right to strike to defend itself?
Yes, it had the right to strike Hamas as much as possible, but without confusing Hamas and the Palestinians, because the Palestinians are not Hamas. Hamas's terrorism does not mean that the Palestinians are terrorists. Tens of thousands of women and children have been killed in recent months, and the International Court of Justice has warned a risk of genocide. When you use 500-kilogram bombs on homes and camps, you know that you will get bodies in pieces, in which there may be one terrorist, of course, but there will be many children and many women, and that is unbearable today because we are no longer in the period of the Second World War. It is intolerable.
Israel and the US may try to imagine whatever future they wish for Gaza, and they may also try to achieve that future through missiles, dumb bombs, and bunker busters. But there is no amount of military might or firepower that can alter history or redefine justice. What Gaza ultimately wants is the acknowledgement of historical injustices, respect for international law, a free state for Palestinians, and legal accountability from Israel. These are hardly radical positions, especially when compared to Israel's practical policy of destroying Gaza, annexing the West Bank, and ethnically cleansing the Palestinian people. Will Washington and its European allies finally acknowledge this fact? Dominique De Villepin regrets the fact that France and the European Union have flouted their principles by giving Netanyahu the green light to carry out his crimes.
One of our principles as Europeans is the respect of international law. Does Israel respect international law? No. Does Benjamin Netanyahu respect international humanitarian law? No, he doesn't. So, on Gaza, we must enforce justice. What makes this war never end, and what makes us unable to put a limit on Benjamin Netanyahu, is that we are unable to make him understand, and to make Israel understand, that justice must be applied.
However, Elizabeth Borne, a minister in Emmanuel Macron's government, tries to defend her government by claiming that France did everything to set limits on Netanyahu, but that he refused to listen. But Dominique De Villepin is a diplomat who listens carefully to what his opponent says and then destroys them with concrete facts. Watch.
France has stated very strongly from the beginning that Israel has the right to defend itself in accordance with international law.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Is Israel defending itself in accordance with international law?
Okay. We all have denounced it.
No, answer my question first.
That's not all. For Dominique De Villepin, Europe must collaborate with international justice to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
Deuxièmement, il y a un accord cadre Union européenne-Israël.
Secondly, there is a framework agreement between the European Union and Israel. In Article 2 of the Treaty of the European Union, it is stated that Europe must respect international law as well as all other international regulations. Today we have an Israeli prime minister who has an arrest warrant, And in the framework agreement, it is stated that we must not commit any violations of our fundamental principles of international law. Benjamin Netanyahu must understand that on the international stage, actions have a price and a cost.
De Benjamin Netanyahu, eh bien, comprennent que les actes sur la scène internationale ont un prix et ont un...
In fact, what Dominique De Villepin is trying to say here is that Europe is a continent that has long boasted about being the defender of human rights, and its fundamental principles include respect for international law, and now there is a criminal who is wanted by international justice. Therefore, it is up to Europe to apply its principles and facilitate the arrest of this man so that he can answer his accusations in court. And if Europe does not respect international law in the case of Netanyahu, it will no longer have a moral lesson to give to the world. I will be delighted to read your points of view in the comments. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum.